Hey, good evening, everybody. I hope that you have had a wonderful day today. I have. Even though it was a little bit rainy and a little bit cold for my taste, it was still a beautiful day. So I hope that if you had things to do, you still got out and got those things done and handled business and went to work and did all of the other good stuff we've been trying to do here lately. We're still in the middle of a pandemic, so I hope that you also had your mask on. You've been washing your little hands. It is funny to me every time I tell grown folks to wash their hands, but been washing your hands and that you are social distancing because we still want to make sure that we're not putting ourselves in any kind of danger while we do try to go out and take care of stuff. So I hope that you've been doing all of that. So just a little touch on what's happening today. So the big thing I'm watching on TV right now, of course, everybody knows the Derek Chauvin trial is on. And I'm like everybody else in between Zoom calls and phone calls and trying to work today because I am working from home. We've been working from home for a year now. I've been trying to walk in and kind of watch a little bit of the trial as it goes on just to see what's happening and keep up with it. And it's been interesting to say the least. Um, I have enjoyed listening to, and it sounds weird to say enjoyed, but listening to the prosecution's witnesses that they've had, these folks have been on their game. If I tell you, they've been on their game. Nobody is folded, nobody is buckled, nobody is stuttered or stammered. They've sat in their seat and they've said what they've seen, and they've been very direct about it. Even the younger ones that are testifying, because some of those people were minors when this happened and they witnessed that. So even they have not been. I mean, the defense attorney has not been able to shake them. So it's been interesting to watch that trial, and like everybody else, or both people, I should say, we're hoping for uh, we're hoping for justice, and I can say it that way without getting into my beliefs or whatever. But we're hoping that justice is served, that he pays for what he did. I mean, if you watch that video, and I can remember the day it happened, and then I've watched the video pretty much all day today. It is very emotional. It's very hard to watch, and it's even harder to hear a young person sit on the scene and describe what they saw that day. So if you have a chance, tune in, check it out, watch it, pay attention to what's going on, pay attention to the questions, because sometimes, of course, a person's attorney's job is to confuse you so that you say what they want you to say. And I can honestly say that they pulled one
Absolutely.
didn't work. Even the youngest
Yeah.
one didn't work. So interesting trial going on. Other interesting thing I watched was if you have HBO or you can have access to it, please watch the story about Tina Turner. Oh my God. Now, I am like the biggest fan of What's Love Got to Do with It, the movie and the song. But if you watch the show about her life and you hear her telling it firsthand and some of the things that she went through and her talking about it, you can tell even this many years later, it's very emotional and it's very tough for her to say some of the truths that happened to her in her life. As women, I think a lot of us can identify with that and we can go back and go, hey, there's some times that things have happened to us that we didn't really want to talk about again. And that once you told that story, you kind of just wanted that story to kind of die and go away. Well, watch that show, and I think you'll get a lot out of it. The latest one that came out, you may have had a chance to watch Aretha Genius. Oh, another one. These folks, man,
Yeah, she
I
loves
tell
it.
you, these folks went
Yeah.
through some stuff, man. And what we saw was
Mhm.
the beauty part of it. We saw the music. We were blessed to hear the music and experience the better looking side of things. But watch that one. And then there's one more I'll tell you to watch, and it's on Hulu, I think. And that's oh my God, it's the United States versus Billie Holiday. Man, that one.
That's a
We
that's a
have you seen
tough
that
one.
one? That
That's a
man,
tough one.
that I was between crying, I was between getting angry. Watch these
Yeah.
shows again. We were blessed to hear the music, but we didn't know where that music came from. And when you watch these shows about these three women, and you see the strength and the courage and all those things it took for them to get out of those situations, I promise you, if you're in a tough situation, not saying it's going to be easy for you to do it and watch the movie because it's going to teach you how to do it, but it lets you see the beauty of the human spirit. It lets you see how strong Some women are, and it lets you see that even though we think sometimes the
Yeah.
only person going through a situation is us, that is not true. So those three shows I recommend. That's my recommendation
Absolutely not.
for the weekend or for the week to watch those three shows. What else is going
Absolutely.
on? There's so much stuff going on politically. There's so much stuff going on so many different fronts. We're not gonna get into it because if I want to boost the video, can't talk about none of that. So I'm gonna leave it alone. So anyway, let's do housekeeping. I'm Wonder Lowe, and this is the Lady Sound. If you've never tuned in before, I come on weekly every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Facebook and on YouTube. If you have not already liked our page, please go over to Facebook right now and click on that like and share any videos. There's plenty of videos to watch, plenty of posts to read. Share them, like them, comment. I love to get feedback, so talk to them. If you have not seen us on YouTube, then you can find us again. Everything is under the Lady Sound with Wonder Lowe. On YouTube, make sure you go over and subscribe to our channel and then click on the bell so that you can get notifications when new videos post. So please do that. Now, while we're at it, I want to also say find world famous affirmations. Is that what it is? I'm going to make sure I'm saying it right.
Yes.
Find
Yes.
world famous affirmations on Facebook. Click and
Yeah.
follow. If you need inspiration, if you need some affirmations, if you need some confirmations, that's the place to be to get those things. So make sure you do that. So, y'all, I'm hyper, hyper, hyper excited tonight. Am I excited? Y'all know my excited look the same way every time. I'm just not that bubbly, over the top person. I'm a calm
Yeah.
excited. But anyway, I'm excited to have this lady right next to me tonight. And actually, we are not right next to each other. I'm in Arkansas. She is in Florida. But the
Yes.
beauty of streaming, she is right next to me. I am excited to
I
have the
am.
world famous, the well known,
Oh.
the highly talented, the bubbly of the bubbliest,
Oh Lord.
world
Oh,
famous
it's a,
LeVeda McCou in the house with me
oh,
tonight. I am
thank
excited.
you.
Let me tell
I'm
y'all something.
excited.
You had to
Kudos to you.
you have to glue this woman's feet to the floor to catch up with her. She moving, man. She is moving, and I love it. We've known each other for like several years now. We worked at the same company at one while. And I think she was
Hmm.
in Memphis tearing it up, and I was tearing it up in Arkansas.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
she was
Absolutely.
she doesn't know it, but she was my trainer. But she don't know what she was. So I was watching stuff that she was doing in Memphis. We worked, like I said, we worked for the same company. And I was like, shoot, if
Yeah.
we can do this in Memphis, I can do this in Arkansas. And I made everything I thought that she was doing. I was like, let me go do this too. And it worked. I
And
will
it
say
worked. It
it
did.
it
It
worked some.
did. What college station? I think you
Yes.
were in, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Uh-huh.
Working a little
Little
over at
Rock.
College Station. Love College
You
Station though.
did.
Yeah, it
I
was
do
like, I
too.
mean,
I
it
do
was
too.
like the best little spot to work in and some of the best people to work with. But anyway, let me let you
Mhm.
have a chance to talk about you and tell us I call you V most of the time, but let me let you
That's
tell
fine.
who famous is. So,
Who is world famous? Oh my gosh. She is, oh my goodness. Who is world famous? I'm just me. I mean, and whatever is required of me, um, I am that. You know what I'm saying? And so I just literally, whatever gift that's needed, whatever talent that's required of me, whatever energy, you know what I'm saying, that I need to be in, whatever mindset that I need to stay in. And that's always a very positive mindset, even when my emotions and my surroundings don't look like it. I'm just that, you know what I'm saying? And it's really and truly, first of all, it's just an honor always to
mhm,
be talking to you. I have literally, we've been together, I would say, since 2010.
yeah,
And my story from that time on has been incredible. You've seen me. I was married at the time. I have four sons, and they were babies then,
yeah,
and now they're teenagers, all of them, and
Mhm.
adults, young adults, because I'll have a 20-year-old and I have an 18-year-old now, and the two youngest ones are 16 and 14. So I
Mhm.
would say that I'm just living my world famous is somebody just living their mission in the most authentic way possible. That's it.
That's enough. That is
That
enough.
is enough. That's a lot, baby. Because the
That
price
is.
you pay the price you pay just to be authentic is a real price, and you
Mhm.
don't have to sacrifice nobody but yourself.
That is. Well, I will say
Absolutely.
this from day one. I've always thought of you as a ball of energy. I used to watch
Oh
you,
wow.
and I used to be like, "How in the world?" I mean, when I say bubbly, bouncy, always like you used to kill me. It didn't matter what situation we in, you'd be over there doing this. I was like, "What is she doing?" But I would
I'm
notice that you
raising my vibration. Yeah.
exactly you be in your own world. And I just see you over there doing this. We could be in the meeting.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? One of these days, I'm gonna get to that level. I'm gonna get to this hey, whatever. This is we were in a meeting in Mississippi. I will never forget this. I don't remember what was going on, but
Mm.
it was getting the meeting was getting a little tense. I looked over and you were literally doing this. I'm like, did she hear what's going on? Is she in the same room we in? But you was in your home, you was in your little world.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Absolutely.
okay. I said, one of these days I'm gonna get to where I could just snap and act like it ain't happening because
What?
you were just
Yeah.
oh, that was another thought level, And I just thought, man, I
I
like
think people would try to I'm sorry, people are trying to bring you down to their level. You feel me? And so you have to shake that and you have to break all of what they trying to do to bring you down. And really it wasn't gonna be solved going back and forth and chit chat and all that
mhm,
old stuff. And being catty about it because we were in a very well, first of all, I wasn't trained corporately. So that's
mhm,
number one that really saved my life. And number
mhm,
two was everything that I've ever done has been spirit driven. You know what I'm saying? And God ordained and all this, whatever. So I knew that whoever had authority over me only had authority because that's what God decided I needed at the time. You feel?
I get you. Well, I used to be like, you know what? I'm going to the meeting. I'm gonna be over there just like that. Be in my own world for a little while. And you know what? And it's so funny because your energy is so positive and you're such a positive
Wow.
kind of bubbly person. It rubs off on whoever's around you. I can remember us being
Wow.
in training in
Wow.
New Orleans in some kind of way, a place you do not live. This girl had a whole posse. I'm like, who are these people? It was like, I don't know. These just people in the classes. They just want to go with me. I'm like, how did you just come to a city we don't even live here? You from Tennessee? I'm in Arkansas. We in New
I
Orleans.
know.
This girl had a complete posse, man. It's like 15 people. She was like, "We going to dinner." I was like, "We." I was like, I thought it was me, her, and maybe two other. Man, I look up. It is
Oh,
literally
honey.
15 people going. We following her. I'm like, okay, let me go and get in. Let me just get in. It was so
Look,
funny.
of course, I live a real t-shirt and jeans type of lifestyle
Hmm.
now. And so when I was getting dolled up for this interview, when I was getting dolled up for this interview, honey, I was thinking about us in New Orleans. I mean, the memories just started flooding. And we were there to get a home ownership
Hmm.
certificate for home ownership counselor, excuse me. And so
Hmm.
home ownership counselor certificate. And I'm like, man, and this the trip that I brought my dad with me.
Yeah. Yep.
And I said I wanted him to enjoy. He had just retired and he came, with us. And oh
Hmm.
my gosh, I think we were at the Catch Meow and I'm doing karaoke. And I
Yeah.
think, were you up there too? Were you up
Uh,
there too?
I
You was
only
in the
went up one.
audience.
I actually enjoy watching y'all. I'm the,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, there it is. Yeah. So we were in the we were doing poison and never trust the big button smile. And I'm just turned around, and man, my daddy had just walked in the door. Now at the time, I think I was 30 something,
Mhm.
maybe 30. I was 30. Yeah,
Mhm.
I was 30, and 29, 30. So man, I turned around, my daddy. Man, I said, "Oh my God, I could you could have knocked me over with a whole feather,
It
love."
was
But
so funny.
yeah, that was so crazy. Yeah.
Yep. We had, I tell you what, with the two trips, because remember the one we went, we were gonna go shopping that day, and it rained. I mean, I remember Canal got flooded. I was like, I want to go home because we're gonna be
Yes, you was
in the
ready to go
river.
home.
Dude, that was
And
way.
Katrina had just happened.
Yes.
Katrina had just happened,
Yep.
and they were rebuilding
Yep.
after Katrina. Yeah,
And it
yep,
started
yep.
raining, and I was like, I'm ready to go back to Arkansas. Too much water for me. And I mean, when I say rain, in a matter of minutes, the water was
It
ankle
was
canal and it was steady rising. I'm like, I need to go home now because I don't want to get stuck in a flood.
right.
It
I
was
remember. I
wow.
remember. I remember. And you know what's so funny, Wonder, about that? We've gained so many skills, and that's what I believe life is. Of course,
Mhm.
people say all day life is a journey and life is this and that and a whole lot of things, but life is about acquiring skills that
Mhm.
will take you into your next life. I didn't, at the time, I didn't think I was going to be world famous, or that my name was just what it was. I was just a young girl at the time. I was married to a preacher, and I
Mhm.
was in ministry as well. And I think I had just went to Dr. Cindy Trim. Her name
Mhm.
is Cindy Trim Tomlinson now, but I would had just went to her school, and she said you'll be world famous everywhere you go. Somebody will know your name.
There you go.
And I was always very into what words do. And I
Mhm.
was just a student that I didn't go to college. When I left high school, I wanted to be I was a corporate trainer. So I traveled to different cities and opened up restaurants and trained the staff and all that stuff. So really, um, being a doing that, it opened me up to know how to just deal with people and to talk to people and to dig into my personality, because I'm the middle child. So I don't know if you have more than one child, you
Mhm.
already know.
Yep.
The middle child is some serious, and I
Yep.
have two middles. Okay,
Yep.
so by having four sons. So anyway, you let that middle child be the best that they can be and leave them alone.
Mhm.
And that was the treasure of my parents' wisdom, is that they just let me be who I am, and they continue to do that as well. So and then I just realized that when I was named world famous or whatever, man, I just wanted to be at home with the kids. That was my whole mindset. I didn't think I was
Mhm.
going to be doing anything or know any of the people that I
Mhm.
know at this moment.
Surprise,
Absolutely.
surprise.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Now,
It's a big surprise.
you know what? Now, I tell you what. By me knowing you, and I knew, you're being married and being in ministry and everything. But then people see you now and go, wait a minute, she was a preacher's wife. It's like a 60-degree turnaround. Because I think after everything happened, and
Yeah.
I saw you, I was like, oh my God. Now she is
Devastated.
but you know what? I saw you come back from something that most people don't come back from. And I saw,
True.
you were always that person. I said, like I said, upbeat, bubbly, and you can make anybody laugh about almost anything. And
Right.
then I saw you lose your smile, and that hurt me.
Yeah.
I cried because I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm hurt, and I could see your pain.
Oh.
We could see each other a whole lot better.
Oh wow.
But even a few times when we would talk, I would see your
Yeah.
pain, and I knew that you were hurting.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also knew this person has this spirit. There's something about you that although you're in pain right now,
Nah.
I know you're not gonna stay there.
Oh man.
And the
And you
next
know, and
time I saw a whole new flower. I saw a whole
all
new
that flower had busted. That flower had
man.
busted up. You know, I tell women this a whole lot because I've had to counsel. Oh, you crying? Don't cry, Wanda. Don't cry.
Okay.
Don't cry. Because I teared up when you said it because I went back to that place that when you called me and I had these different conversations with married women.
Hmm.
And the week before it happened, I had a I had a very prestigious person I was praying with during my prayer time. She said, "You're made for companionship." I'm unknowing that all of this is going on in my marriage. I'm just,
Hmm.
whatever. She said, "You made for companionship, so don't worry about it. You're gonna be married again, and you're gonna be in relationships and whatever again." And
Hmm.
the problem with that I discovered was that people put a jacket on you that's not meant for you.
Yeah.
A person that's married, even in marriage, if women don't know their own identity, then
Hmm.
you're going to be lost in the sauce. And
Yes.
in that, because I really lost my I had lost my life before then. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like,
Hmm.
hold on, I fasted, I prayed, I was before I got married, I didn't have sex with my husband before we got married. I did everything right. God, I
Hmm.
did everything right. I stood by this man. I had 4 wonderful sons by my nurse, all of them. I didn't go to the clubs. I didn't go like none of the stuff, none of the life that
Hmm.
I live now. Okay, and and this happens. I
Yeah.
lose everything. I lost more than everything at least twice, and then the situation with my children. Like it's a whole lot that goes into that, and seeing that I was destroyed, like I was destroyed. It wasn't I was completely destroyed.
Hmm.
Completely. Mind, body, soul,
Yeah.
everything.
And
And
it
the
was
only
painful to
thing
watch.
that absolutely I think I quit my job. I did like I mean I mentally checked out, and people need to be grateful every day for their minds
Yes.
that you can think to wash yourself to take a bath or to even go and go and use the bathroom.
Hmm.
And I would think back to my oldest son's telling me, he said, "Mama, I remember you not even leaving your room but to go to the bathroom."
Wow.
And I promise if I could if I could if I had the pens, I had a bedpan, I probably wouldn't even do that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the beauty about it is that instant when God just speaks that one thing and says, just repeat after me. You hear me? I am beautiful. I am loved. I am phenomenal. I am precious. I am, you know what I'm saying? All these things that somebody tried to make me feel like I'm not, and what I don't even feel for myself. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's about myself.
Hmm.
And I really learned what ministry was after that point because understanding I had we had the same friends, we had the same ministry
Hmm.
involvement. We had went to the same places and all that stuff. And for you to rebuild your life over, I just I I just made friends with different people, and those same ministry people that I was friends with, they're still
Mm-hmm.
my friends. They're still my Facebook friends. When I went and been at the strip club, being a house mom, mine look, they still on them. You hear me? And I
Mm-hmm.
have been able to touch so many lives just with that testimony, and and knowing that God don't make a mistake, and that all things work
Exactly.
together for the good for them
Mm-hmm.
that love God and call, baby, because I'm sure enough called according to His purpose.
You are. And I tell you what, to see the transformation and to see you go from, and they using your word, destroyed. Because when the I think
This,
right after me and you talked one day, and I was still at the company, and I think you had left by the end. And when we finished that conversation, I sat at my desk. I cried for probably about 10 minutes, and then I started praying because I'm going. I could hear in your voice that
yeah,
everything just seemed like it had just drained out, and I'm like, okay, she's a
I was
minister,
nothing.
and I know she's got in her what she can be. And it was just like I said, it was just painful watching it. But then I kept thinking, but this is LeVeda. And the LeVeda
Right.
I know will bounce back from this. And when you bounce, honey, you
Oh
bounce.
man,
When you bounce, you
let me tell
bounce.
you something.
Mhm.
You can turn the ashes. I would say it like that. When you ash to ash and dust to dust, but if you blow on dust, it'll go everywhere, won't it?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you pulled it. I
And
tell
so
you
we
what, you
allow
pulled
people
it
to
together.
dictate our future. Yeah,
Mhm.
I appreciate that. And Wanda, it's so much I know that you want to say, but you can say it because so many times, especially with people when we grow up in the church or we've been in the church and all these things, we forget about the real mission of what the church is about, and um, it's about healing the sick and reclaiming um, the destinies of people and just speaking into them and just being vessels ourselves. And
Mhm.
it's no better vessel than somebody pouring into you than somebody that has been earned that anointing. You know what I'm
Amen.
saying?
Yeah.
So in that, even from I remember I saw you again. I was in Little Rock, and I went to Little Rock. I had rekindled a relationship with one of my high school heartthrobs, right? And his mother had cancer, and she was always like another mom to me and everything. And and I cared for her. I told her I had a business at the time, and I had my little convertible and everything like that.
Mhm.
And I know you remember you rode in it. And uh, I said, and I took care of her. I took her to every one of her chemo appointments and everything. And so as I'm sitting in the chemo part, because still I was still painting from just like
Mhm.
4 or 5 years after I done been divorced. I've been divorced now probably 12 years.
Mhm.
And so um, I had been painting still over it. But when I looked around at UAMS Hospital in Little Rock, I said, man, life is precious. These folks in here dying, you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Or they're fighting for their lives. And I'm just worried about this, and this. I'm worried about this man, even though he see me taking care of his mama and stuff. Is he really gonna do me right? You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here thinking about all of this and that, right?
Mhm.
But I had to realize that however somebody treats you is their decision. But how you receive how they treat you
Yep.
is your decision.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so therefore I threw them peace signs up and got on down. But the message is you have to sacrifice. I'm just saying you have to be a person. My calling has always been I have to go where people need my help. You know what I'm saying? Where my gift is demanded. You know what I'm saying? At the time. And sometimes those places are the ugliest places, and that people would never think that a good little sweet little face woman like me will go. But
Yeah.
you know,
But you know,
I
let's talk
don't care
about.
what nobody about.
There you go. And you know what? That's the other thing that I've always admired about you. Also, you are not one of them folks that's worried about what other people think about you. However you doing, moving or growing, you like, you know what? I'm going, moving and doing. What you think is what you think. I'm over here doing
I'm
what I'm
doing
doing, and I love that. You know, and I told you I'm the shy one
it.
out the group. You know, I'm not going to do a whole lot of
How
anything.
you
But
know?
but that's one of those things
And
that's really nice about
people think that
you.
I'm so wild all the time.
No, I wouldn't even
Go
call
ahead,
it
sir.
wild. Like you said earlier, it's just authenticity. It's just who you are. You don't know another way to be because that's just who you are. And I'm gonna be honest with you. When I met your dad when we were in New Orleans, I saw where you got it from. Now I've not met your mom, but no, your dad,
Uh,
you
off the
girl,
chart. Off the
yep,
chart.
Mr.
Off
Massey,
the chart.
yep. I was like,
Yes.
okay, so this where
Yes.
she got it from. But let's talk about this transformation, this move, because you go from you still
Okay.
mother, but you go from minister and married woman, all this other stuff that you were in the other life, to doing a show called The Ho and Me.
Right.
And please explain to
Oh,
folks
Ho and me.
because
Oh, look. Let me
when
tell
I
you something. I
look,
was dating a fine
mhm,
baby. Oh, he was so. I mean, just beautiful for no
mhm,
reason. And this is the time. I think this was about 2 years. This was last. Okay, the year before last. This 2019. I literally stopped. I want to say I work for another Operation Hope. That's
mhm,
another big, financial institution place that I work for in. Um, and then I started working in music, which I love music.
mhm,
I started being around all these people, and it was so funny that you tune into like the Billie Holidays, Aretha Franklin's, and all them, and because I was one of my affirmations was like I'm friends with all the super producers and
mhm.
DJs and music people and all that kind of stuff, and literally that's what happened.
Wow.
So you when you write something down, it becomes law. So when your
Mhm,
intentions that's over there on that thing, you just made it lost. So because you wrote it. So then, let's see. So then I transitioned into, man, what did I transition into? So I was being a house mom and in a strip club, very well known strip club in the world.
mhm,
And I met so many people, Cardi B, all these people like that. And I was able to speak a word to them, and it come to pass. Like God was using me like in the most incredible ways when I got out of the church. You know what I'm saying?
wow.
I guess the four wall and everything like that. We always knew that the gift of God is without repentance, and it wasn't like hell I backslid up out there, Judd. It was just I was so destroyed, you know what I'm saying, that I really
Mhm,
couldn't even see my way forward. So fast forward to the whole and me, I was dating this fine Jamaican. I went back to banking. I had stopped all the banking stuff. I
mhm,
was under pressure from all over the place just to be in a box, and I had these four sons again, and you know, when people don't understand your calling, they can just, I'm saying, just put pressure on you. And I tried to
mhm,
fit back in the box.
mhm.
That's what got my little butt in trouble the first time. And so, he was like, "You need therapy." That's what he told me. He said, "You need therapy," and that's the worst thing you can tell a black woman. She needs therapy. Something
Mhm,
wrong with her after
mhm,
all these years of trauma that we didn't experience. lives in our cells and our bodies and everything else. That's the worst cotton picking thing you can say to a black woman is that she needs therapy. And so then I said, all right, the whole in me needs therapy. And it was healing over everything. And I think that black men are the most incredible people in the world. They're the most beautiful creatures in the world to me. And but the pain that they come that they bring when they don't know who they are,
Mm-hmm.
it messes with, it can bring trauma to that woman or that system and whatever in the world. And so I talked about that, and I talked about like every man that has I've ever pretty much come into contact with, and all the vulgarity and debauchery that it brought, and as well
Mm-hmm.
as what healed me. You know what I'm saying? Ways that they healed me. So it was a straight monologue. It was absolutely incredible. And
Mm-hmm.
the place is called Indulge Lounge in Tennessee, and it's off the Rockers now. But my show was, I want to say, the first show that they had there, maybe the second one, but
Mm-hmm.
but it was completely sold out. It was a blessing. And then how about the next day I went to preach at a church? Now I'm supposed to teach
Hey,
in
ministry
the
is
church,
ministry is
and
ministry, wherever it is.
and I want to say I had a sweater on this color too. I think this is my color. But I had a
Mm-hmm.
shirt on, a sweater on this color. But I was supposed to talk about financial literacy because at the time I worked for a major bank. And
Mm-hmm.
in Arkansas, that's so funny in West Memphis. And if you know
Mm-hmm.
the correlation between West Memphis, it's just over the bridge. But
Yeah.
anyway, man, I preached at a church. Look, they asked me, this is so crazy. The pastor asked me, he said, I heard you, I seen on your resume that you graduated from such and such, such and such.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God. So he was like, I ain't even gonna preach today. You go ahead and I just need to know what scripture you taking, where you
Mm-hmm.
coming from. I said, man, I ain't preached in 10 years.
Wow.
It had been, yeah, 10 years. But every time I go to church or every time I pray, I'm in prophesying. I mean, it's just what it is. And no matter who I talk to, I mean, it's natural. It's just gonna come out. And I ended up preaching. I talked about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin going up 1,000 points or 10,000 points or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I prophesied about COVID. I talked about all these things, and I never even owned a TV. I never bought a TV in my life. I
Wow.
had a TV in my house for my kids, and I sit and watch like movies or something like that, DVDs or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But I hadn't watched television. I had never bought a television, so I mean that's not something that I was interested in. But literally, I preached, and everything that I talked about is showing up happening. I told them how to cash app and
Mm-hmm.
stocks and bonds, but I've been talking about this probably like 2010 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2000, yeah.
Hmm.
2010. That's when we started at the other place. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah. So I mean, then from there, it's spawned on to the book, the affirmation book, How to Glow Up.
Talk about that. Talk about that because I got the book and I read a
You
couple
know what?
different
Well, it's a book that you experience. That's what people have to know. You have to understand that whatever you believe in, if you're not experiencing what you believe in, then it's folly. I think the Bible says that knowledge without um, words without experience, knowledge without experience is folly. That it's foolishness. And so I was one of them types that, I had to know what the word, I had to experience what I was saying. And
Mhm.
hoe up to glow up, that means healing over everything. To glow up
Yeah.
is something that you have to, you're going to experience it. And everybody who's received the book, everybody who has purchased that book, they're living phenomenal lives. I can remember my first testimony. Actually, I wrote the book 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And when I wrote the book, um, I was in Memphis. Then I revisited the book when I went to Atlanta.
Mhm.
And I was in Atlanta. I was Memphis had pretty much dried up for me. I was on rural radio. I was on other radio stations in Memphis, and
Mhm.
it just dried up for me. I really didn't know what to do, what I was about to do, and all that, because I got to do something.
Yeah.
So my skincare company, I wasn't feeling it to be there. I mean, it was just time me going. Everybody like, yo, you got kids, you got this. I said, baby, I'm dying.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? This is, I cannot. And so then my manager had said, hey, Vita, world famous. He said, come on, we finna go to Atlanta. We gonna be in Atlanta 3 days.
Huh.
And 3 days after we gonna come back to the other 3 days. So that's what happened. So then the 3 days just started turning into, damn, when I'm really coming back home. You know what I'm saying? When I'm coming, back to Memphis. So I had stayed there like a month at a time, and I'm not working, I'm not doing anything. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So then it was for me to be still. And sometimes we just got to be still and
Mhm.
hear clearly. And so during that time, I was called to come to Richmond, Virginia, and I was there. Went got flew out to Richmond, came back
Mhm.
to Atlanta, and I interviewing like YFFN, Lucci, artists, Bob Menace, and all these different people. My
Mhm.
son decides, hey mom, I'm taking my singing serious. So all of my connections, I mean, became his connections, and
Mhm.
um, and then I'm in Florida. But anyway, I wrote the book. My phone was cut off. I was at my cousin's house. Shout out to Dr. Kiva Richmond Green, which is an incredible person that you
Mhm.
definitely should interview. Um,
Okay.
she has an advocacy group, human and sex trafficking. Really big deal, really big deal.
Mhm.
And I wrote the book in her house, in
Mhm.
her guest room, and I put it on live. It's for digital download. I think it costs $12.21. If you was in my group, you know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
You got a real good discount, and yeah, and I mean it's just went from there. But those words has got people $35 million contracts like the same day they read the book. It's gotten
Wow.
people through very treacherous divorces. It actually helped me even just to move, to even buy my plane ticket to
Mhm.
come to Florida. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And from the point on when I talk about I am favored, I'm supernaturally connected to my Creator. Um, it's a lot of people that don't feel like they're connected to anything. So when you decree and declare I'm supernaturally connected to my Creator, man, I know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, when. I know all of that, and that's important, especially in today's time. And COVID, I don't know what COVID has happened because I've been busy since COVID. I
Exactly.
realized when I was sitting in that bank though that I'm not gonna die sitting in nobody's bank.
I'll be honest with you. I had that
Because I
same thought
knew that what was,
process.
yeah,
Yeah. You just knew that it wasn't for you. And I even can be honest and say it really wasn't for me either, because sitting there gave me time to go, this is good and it's comfortable, but it's probably not what I really want to be doing. There's other stuff out there for me to be doing. And it was so funny because I think by the time I hit my radio
right.
show, you were already doing a show. And we hadn't talked and I don't know when. And I kept seeing stuff pop up on my timeline. I'm like, what is V doing? And I was like, oh my gosh, she has a radio show. And at the time I had just started mine. I'm going, now what's the chances of us going from where we were, because we are bankers, or we were bankers, and then now we both have shows. Now mine's a
Oh
talk
yeah,
show,
the best
music.
of the best. Absolutely
I just thought that was the funniest thing to me, that how did we end up on the radio? That is weird. But hey, it is what it is, and here we
right.
are.
You know, and it is funny because here's the thing: God really has a sense of humor if we just let go, you know.
Mm,
And I've never been one to judge people, and I've always been a person to um, help people as much as I can, because I know what it's like to be what people say, well, they hating on me. Your haters ain't nobody but people that ain't healed yet. You know what I'm saying? And they just mad because they ain't healed. But the thing about it is, um, I realized that people need people to be open, to be honest, and to not have to go through all the trauma and experiences that you went through to get to where you're going. So I
exactly.
mean, and then it's enough money out here for everybody, you
Yep.
know. And yeah, yeah, we live a life of miracles, and I mean, and you just gotta tap into that miracle power, you know.
Hmm.
That's it.
That's it. Well, I look at it and I think of all the different stuff that both of us have done. And we were kind of talking about that a little bit before the show. And I'm
Right.
going, it's amazing how when I met you and I got that particular job, I was like, that job came at when I say a crucial time, it came at a very crucial time. As far as I was concerned, at the moment, it was exactly what
Yes.
I wanted to be doing. It was something a little bit more exciting. I had been in banking for 15 years before that one. And to do that, and I'm going, okay, now I'm like you, always looking for a way to help other people. And it provided that for me. But then it got stressful because apparently, in some circumstances, people don't like it when they feel like you've gotten a little too big for that position. Now, let me get my girl Ashley, blink, 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 and my boy on TikTok, bink, bink, bink. Folks don't like it when you grow out of the box that they tried to put you in.
Hmm.
And I came in and busted the lid and the sides off my box.
Absolutely.
And that kind of upset some people, which I didn't really care because by that time I had the same mindset of, I don't really care what you think. And I've never been that kind of person to
I'm
hide
like,
your
see,
hide your life. Exactly. Hide your light under a bushel to make somebody else feel good. And I'm like, I'm not gonna dim my light because it blinds you. You better either get on my level, catch up, or move out my way. I've
right.
just that mindset. And when it ended, it was like, okay, it devastated me to a point where I think my process was at the time, okay, now what am I gonna do for money? But I always have a plan A, B, C through G. So I had a backup plan, and my backup plan worked very well, and it worked very well for a long time.
It's
But at the same time, it also let me know something. You don't depend on other people for your sources or your
mhm.
resources. You depend on one source, and that one source will give you your resources. So it's times that when things happen to us that we really have to go back to the Father and understand that everything good comes from Him. And we haven't missed a meal. We ain't missed nothing. It just kept stuff just kept happening, and before I knew it, I had talked myself into a radio show, and then before I knew it, COVID hit, and I talked myself into an online talk show, and before I know it, it's 3 years later, and we still rolling, and it's getting better, and it's getting bigger.
It
I got some other stuff,
is.
so I'm like,
It
okay.
is better. I tell people, babe, I tell people all the time, even in I'm a single woman
Hmm.
still, and it's hilarious to me because I would love to be in a relationship. I would.
Hmm. Blink,
And
blink,
I'm
blink.
a man because I gotta say this. I would love to be in a relationship, but just how my life set up, I be around a whole lot of fine rich men,
Hmm.
and a lot of the time, people are very insecure about that point.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the Virgin Mary right now because I feel like I ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a woman talk show, right?
Yeah.
So, but still,
Say what you got to say.
still, I am. I'm always traveling. I'm always on the go. Um, I'm always just around just different people and they have different things. They have lots of things, but don't necessarily mean they want me. So I'm now to the point by moving to Florida, and I was supposed to move to Florida 20 years ago. My parents had a
Wow.
whole going away party for me 20 years ago. Um, when I was still married and everything, just 20 years ago. Okay.
Hmm.
And my son was 7 months old. It's his first trip that he took on an airplane, and mine too.
Hmm.
But to be able to be in a place that I'm home, you know what I'm saying, that I could call my home. My house was foreclosed on, what I thought my dream house and everything like that. My After my divorce, and me pretty much losing my mind, just mental capacity and everything, and I had to move back home with my parents, and
Hmm.
then I leave. You know what I'm saying? And I lived in Little Rock for 6 months, taking care of um, I would just my bonus mom, I call her, and then I lived in. Oh, I worked for Me TV. Remember that? That's so
Yep.
funny. And so a whole network. Oh, then and I was the first black person to ever work for the network.
Hmm.
Absolutely, in the
Wow.
whole Me TV. But anyway, then then I had a partner and I was in a abusive relationship. And I want to talk about that real quick because you can be done with something, but then what attracts those types to you will still be in you. And
Hmm.
so only really and truly, you doing the work, digging deep within you, speaking those affirmations, what I'm saying, being around positive people and people that uplifts you and all that kind of stuff. Only that gets rid of that. You know what I'm saying? And being in that mind state. But I hadn't had my own place really for 7 years, you know what I'm saying, for a long time because my parents getting older, my dad had an amputation and all kind of stuff. Like there was just a whole lot of stuff going on. And I said, man, then when that time hit, it was just my time and I'm enjoying my time in my new home in Florida. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, like when I think about all the bad stuff that happened or the it just seems so temporary to me. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? When I think about like just it's hard for me to even remember the pain of it. I know
Yeah.
that it did happen. I know that, I did go through a lot of things and a lot of traumas and a lot of um, and a lot of painful moments. But
Mhm.
when you literally every day that I wake up, even right now, it's just a miracle and it's a testimony because of I'm looking at you. You know what I'm saying? And I know where we worked, and I know like what we did, just like some for real unsung heroes in Tennessee and Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? And like the changes that we made to the world. I know that I am a world changer. I'm not just world famous. I'm a
Mhm.
world changer because I've helped so many people, and I just have a high school diploma. That's all that I
Mhm.
have in the ministry. I went to ministry school. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And but when a person makes up in their mind that this is who I am, this is who I'm going to be, this is what I'm going to do with my life, it is. And
Yeah.
you can see in the World Famous Affirmations group, which is a private group, sis, it's a private group. And I would tell people, I said, man, we got people in there that's millionaires, they're billionaires, they're
Mhm.
restaurant tours, international restaurant tours, and big time radio people. And I mean, when I say I'm talking about global people, it's people in the group from the UK, from here, from there, and all these places.
Mhm.
I even got somebody in the group I can't stand. Do you feel me? I threw in their life and everything, and I mean,
Oh my
I
God.
did, because they tried to play me. They tried to play me, and I had to. They tried to play me now,
Oh my
but
goodness.
I'm more aware. I'm serious. I'm more aware of the blessing that they get the message and
Mhm.
they grow in understanding, then my feelings hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
See, we have to grow from a place of I love you, but I don't like you, and I really don't have to. I don't have to talk to you. You hear me?
That
But
love at a distance
it's
thing.
something in here, yeah, that you gotta get, and you gonna watch this glow up.
Mhm. Sometimes it's good for people that
So I had
that
to heal.
adverse to you to watch you blow up because it
Yeah,
lets them know two things. Number
yeah,
one,
and then
whatever they feeling don't stop you.
yeah,
Number two, you just gonna keep moving anyway. So you can watch me or you can join me.
you
Which one
gotta
you want?
keep watch me or you join me, and Wonder, it's a beautiful thing. It really is. It's a beautiful thing to heal,
Mhm.
and I heal literally every day. Before we went on, you asked me. You said, "So what you been doing this week?" I ain't been doing nothing. I've been in my room. I'll come and fix me something to eat. I do this little cooking show that I done
Mhm.
started, child, doing jaws balls, cooking this
See,
kid. Don't
I'll be
ask me
right
about the
behind you.
title because I feel
Another.
like it's some. But literally, I just feel like, excuse me, I just feel like you have to enjoy your life. I feel like you have to take time for yourself, and you have to take time to hear yourself and to
Yep.
see, well, what my thinking is, what happened right here, how do I feel about this? You know what I'm saying? I need to be free. I'm feeling like I'm being cluttered right here.
Mhm.
And I ain't even go outside. I know that's so crazy. Folks is like, Vita, you ain't depressed. You ain't nothing. Baby, let me tell you something. I'm so far from um, just being depressed or anything like that, or being emotionally tied to material things, because
Mhm.
literally I lost everything. It's nothing. I lost everything.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And to be able to touch and feel and see and to give, and um I flew about 4 people. My first week being in Florida, I think I flew about 4 people to Florida and from Florida and
Mm.
fed them and send them money and cash apps and everything. And I promise you, I had no stimulus or no or what you call it tax return. You feel me?
Mm.
It was just
Mm.
straight miracles. Like I came in, I'm thinking now where that money went to and where it came from, and I couldn't tell you.
Wow.
I could not tell you, and I could not tell you how I done hooked up with people that got 6 billion streams, and they ain't had 6 billion streams until they met me. And I can't tell you how last week I ended up on Trevor Noah and ABC News because of something I filmed, and then
Uh-huh.
the person was filming me filming fool, and you know
Wow.
what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Me asking him to film. You know what I'm saying? It's just my what he called now South Beach Joker, Miami Beach
Mhm.
Joker. You know what I'm saying? And my son right there, how we just that was my first time in South Beach. Literally, y'all gotta get the book because the book works.
All
It
right.
absolutely works, but it only works if you say it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And I got somebody they wake up every morning, 5 in the morning, and they say it.
Wow.
And it's
And how
working.
to
I think they on the beach right now, coming back from the beach.
well, tell folks how they can get the book.
Huh?
I said, tell people how they can get the book.
Oh, baby, it's easy.
Okay.
Go online. It's www.hotherapypodcast.com.
All right. So now,
Hotherapypodcast.com.
okay, is your other book available also online now? Because you wrote one.
Oh, which one?
The first you wrote one. The first one's about
Yeah, before
affirmation.
the all my books are about. That's all my books are about.
Well, tell us how to get all of
The first one's called Currency Speaks.
them.
I know I like Currency Speaks, but I'm working on that one. I'm working on a revision of that one, and it's available too. It's not on wholetherapypodcast.com, but it's on my cell file. Or you can just inbox me, world famous LeVeda McCou, or email me wholetherapypodcast@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah, wholetherapypodcast@gmail.com. And it's digital download. I can send it to you, and all that good stuff. I take all payments from everywhere: Venmo, Tab,
Well,
Cash App.
there.
I take them all.
All
Yeah,
right.
them
Well, we
all.
actually
Wherever what I say, money is coming from all directions at all times.
there you go. Now we're actually over our hour, but just in these last minute or so, leave us with an affirmation or some inspiration for us to take with us from here till whenever.
I feel like it's really somebody that's going to watch this broadcast. You feel like you are at your wits end. That everything that you tried it does not work, and everything that you believe is not working, and everything that literally that you've known is a lie. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that this person is just needing to do two things.
Mm-hmm.
They need to just be still and breathe. And the second thing they need to do is understand is more power in you than that's in the world. And that low self-esteem that you feel, that um, the low thinking that you're on, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It'll all just go away. It'll feel like wherever that you're in right now, you won't even have a memory of it, and you'll say, no, I was. oh, I did. Oh, I did feel like that. But you have to let go of your past. And you definitely can't be living in the future because that's the future. You can only sit right here in the now, in the present moment. Because the Bible says that in an instant, God shall speak concerning a nation and the kingdom willing to build it and to plan it. And I know the rest of it says that he can tear it down and all that stuff at an instant too. But you can build at an instant. And the word is in your mouth. And when you say things, and this for everybody, when you say
Mm-hmm.
things and speak words that in direct relation to what God has already gave as a promise, it can't do nothing but happen.
Amen. Girl, thank
That's
you.
it.
Thank you. Thank you. That's it. That's good enough.
Amen.
Amen. Goes right there. Thank
That's
you
it. I,
so much. I so appreciate you coming on tonight. I have enjoyed our
uh,
conversation, honey. You just don't know. And I do believe that there will be somebody or
I
several
know, man.
that will watch and those words will strike home for them and it'll do for them the same thing it's doing for you and for me too. So thank you again. Make sure you visit the latest on Facebook and like our page. Make sure that you go to YouTube and subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell so you can get the new shows coming up. I'm trying my best to grow that following, but I'll be honest with you, y'all. I stick with Facebook because that's what I had time for. But as soon as I can, I want to get over and start working the YouTube channel a little bit more so that you have some more shows and some more things coming from me. But thank you to all who have tuned in wherever you are in the world. If it's morning, noon, or night when you watch this, be blessed. We appreciate you showing up. We appreciate you watching and clicking. Like the page, follow us. Make sure that you follow World Famous LeVeda McCou on her pages on Facebook, Instagram. She everywhere. Just look for World Famous LeVeda McCou and then follow wherever that is. So make sure you keep up with us. We'll be back next Tuesday, 7
Absolutely.
with another great guest. Thank you, Miss McCou. I appreciate you so much. I love you, sister. I hope now I want to come to Florida. So I'm gonna have to come visit.
I love it.
Hmm. So thank you so much. Y'all have a good night. You stick
Oh,
around.
yeah, Fort Lauderdale is beautiful. That's right. I want y'all to come.
Okay. Well, look, I'm gonna be
I'll
visiting.
be here
I'm
once
gonna
the
sneak off
hurricane
and
season.
visit. Stick around because I want to get a picture when we get done. But the rest of
Okay,
you all,
sweetheart.
thank you so much.
Uh,
Have a great rest of the night. We love
oh,
you. Go ahead. Oh, we love you and hope to see you next week again, 7 p.m. right here in the Lady Sound. I'm Wonder Lowe, your host, and I will see you next time. Bye.